What's up, trainiacs? Welcome to this week's Triathlon Newsday Tuesday. Tim Don makes a big comeback with his new documentary. Strava helps apprehend a cyclist that was being a badass, and we tell possibly the most heroic journey into triathlon from the trainiac community yet. Stick around for it. Welcome, triathletes, to this week's Triathlon Newsday Tuesday, where we share a bunch of the most interesting triathlon news from around the world every single Tuesday. As always, links to all the relevant videos are going to be in the description below, and make sure you stick around to the end where we tell everyone's favorite part of Triathlon Newsday Tuesday, a story from the trainiac community, and frankly, this week, it's a bit of a tearjerker. It's an awesome one. Now, for starters, this is one of the more interesting things that I've ever seen happen on Strava. In Virginia, a cyclist was riding and was attacked by two oncoming cyclists who stuck their arms out, hitting him in the head. Later, the local police were able to use the Strava data from those oncoming attacking cyclists who had uploaded their ride to Strava, and they were arrested for the attack. That is karma, people. I like it. Next, in probably one of the best comeback stories that you might ever hear, except for in a little bit when we get into the trainiac story, Tim Don just released on Twitter last week a 28-minute documentary that's been in the works since he was injured in the week leading up to Kona, nearly fatally, that ended him up with screws in his head, and has dubbed him the man with the halo, the title of the documentary. As I mentioned, the link to the full video will be in the description below, and it has been awesome to see Tim Don coming back to triathlon and frankly looking fantastic. USA Triathlon also announced a new legacy triathlon last week in LA. It's going to be starting with a sprint distance race that has the eventual goal of being on the ITU Triathlon International Pro Circuit. Eventually, the goal for this race is to actually have the race, the location, and the race itself be the location and the entire venue for the 2028 LA Olympic bid. Next, it's been a while since we've had an update from the Challenge family of triathlons. Over the weekend, Challenge Salou happened. Cameron Wurf won on the men's side, and on the women's side, Judith Karachin-Vaquera was 4.5 minutes ahead of our pal Laura Siddle, who has also been on the Triathlon Taren podcast. But get this, former pro cyclist Cameron Wurf, the men's winner, did a half Ironman distance bike race in 1:59:24. He smashed the field into smithereens with that bike, getting out so far ahead on the bike that he gave up, I believe it was 4 to 5 minutes on the run, and still won by a very sizable margin. In Ironman racing, Ironman Florianopolis happened in Brazil. The men's side of the race was won by Jesper Svensson, the Swede, in 8:08:07. And on the women's side, Kirsty Jan from Canada, woo, shout out, won in 8:54:57, just ahead of also podcast guest Sarah Piampiano, which we just released last Sunday. Check it out. Very awesome podcast, if I do say so myself. All right, enough about the podcast for today. And probably the single hardest full Ironman branded race in the world happened at Ironman Lanzarote, and it was won by two one-time defending champions, Alessandro De Gasperi from Italy and Lucy Gossage, both of whom racked up their second wins at Lanzarote. Now, let's get into the trainiac story, which is absolutely amazing. And this is going to beat you down here, but it's got an amazing ending. So, from Eric Glenn, I share this with you, Taren, to let those who have had challenges other than weight loss know that those challenges do not define what they can do or who they are. As one of the older guys in the sport, turning 60 at the start of June, I've had a few physical and mental challenges to overcome. In October 2014, I had a knee replacement that changed my life forever. 25 years after a knee-crushing ski accident, I was finally able to walk longer than 200 meters without pain and started running for really the first time in my life. Inspired by my father-in-law, who was still running, at 83, I ran my first marathon in the fall of 2015. Then I went on to visit the doctor and actually found out that I was having a massive heart attack while I was in his office. And even though I didn't feel a thing and thought that he was nuts, sure enough, the bottom half of my heart had stopped for a few days on and off. Wow. They put some stents in to keep me alive until they can complete a bypass surgery, as my heart needed to get healthy. But in the meantime, my appendix started to burst. I was on blood thinners so that they could not operate, and the prognosis was death in 2 to 3 days. Then they found that I also had bladder cancer, and E. coli had infected me from the appendix rupture. After a miracle of my appendix healing, I was able to have my 5 bypass surgery on December 1st, 2015. The next month, my cancer and E. coli miraculously healed also. And in January 2016, after some tough rehab, I started running again. That year, I completed my second marathon, beating my last marathon time by over an hour. However, the next winter, I injured my left knee, breaking my meniscus in half. Talk about just crap luck here, Eric. Spring of 2017, I had microfracture surgery, which was a slow rehab. I couldn't run on this for 6 months minimum, so I decided to buy a bike and learn to ride at the encouragement of my doctor, and I also took lessons to learn to swim for the first time in my life at age 59. After 6 weeks of taking anxiety medications every day in order to be able to swim just 3 days per week, I finally learned how to swim. I ended up having a pacemaker installed in October 2017. Within a month, I was able to ride and swim again. Then my knee wasn't healing as well as I needed when I started running in February this year, so I went and had stem cell therapy, and it made the difference for me all within just a month. As I've watched your videos for months now, I decided to enter my first triathlon back in March called the Icebreaker. I got second place in my age group of 60 plus. I couldn't believe it. Then entered another one the next month and got second place. I have another Olympic in 2 days and have no expectations for placing, but I'm so proud of myself that I can swim and complete a triathlon. I would never have believed it had you told me this 40 years ago, heck, even 1 year ago. Thank you for your inspiration to do these events, Taren. Jesus, Eric, never mind me with inspiration. Going through all of this in a matter of 4 years, these are things that would often make people give up on life. And to hear that you not only overcame it, but as you were going through it, decided to continue to make yourself better is absolutely amazing to me. So thank you so much for sharing this. I'm blown away by how you've come back and how awesome you look. So good on you. So if anyone else wants to get their story, I'm a little emotional here, Eric. So if anyone wants to get their story shared here on Triathlon Newsday Tuesday, email me at Taren@triathlontaren.com. Thank you for your story, Eric. And if you aren't yet subscribed and you like these news days that come out every Tuesday, hit the subscribe button below. And if you are subscribed and you love that story from Eric, dear God, man, hit the like button. Give Eric some likes. Holy smokes. Whew! That was a tough one to get through.